Howdy folks, welcome to the channel, The Agnostic Philosopher. I get into theological topics, I get into atheistic topics, I get into physics, cosmology, all this stuff, things that sort of relate to mankind, humanity, and I look at it philosophically. I am agnostic. It doesn't bother me if someone believes in God. It doesn't bother me if they don't. If people are kind, reasonably thoughtful, I like them. It's kind of simple. Most people are that, by the way. Some people who are just so dogmatic, not just in theology, but even atheists who could be so dogmatic that they know all these things. I just say, you know, epistemology is a worthwhile thing to study, to sort of get a grasp on and then sort of adopt it for your own purposes in life. But there are limits to what we can know. This one, though, caught my attention. When a physics teacher knows his stuff, and it has 54 million views. I'll put the link to the channel down below. But this particular video, and it was from 9 years ago, but it had 54 million views. That's partly what got my attention, that if this thing is so popular, then there must be something to it. Let's see.
I have here a pendulum. I have an object that weighs 15 kilograms and I can lift it up 1 meter, which I have done now. That means I've done work. MGH is the work I have done, believe me. I've increased the potential energy of this object. 15 times 10 is about 150 joules. If I let it fall, then that will be converted to kinetic energy. If I would let it swing from 1 meter height, and you would be there and it would hit you, you'd be dead. 150 joules is enough to kill you. They use these devices, they're called a wrecker ball. They use them to demolish buildings. You lift up a very heavy object, even heavier than this, and then you let it go, you swing it, thereby converting gravitational potential energy into kinetic energy, and that way you can demolish a building. You just let it hit, and it breaks a building. And that's the whole idea of wrecking. So you are using then the conversion of gravitational potential energy to kinetic energy. Now, I am such a strong believer of the conservation of mechanical energy that I am willing to put my life on the line. If I release that bob from a certain height, then that bob can never come back to a point where the height is any larger. If I release it from this height and it swings, then when it reaches here, it could not be higher. There is a conversion from gravitational potential energy to kinetic energy back to gravitational potential energy, and it will come to a stop here. And when it swings back, it should not be able to reach any higher, provided that I do not give this object an initial speed when I stand here. I trust the conservation of mechanical energy for 100%. I may not trust myself. I'm going to release this object, and I hope I will be able to do it at 0 speed, so that when it comes back, it may touch my chin, but it may not crush my chin. I want you to be extremely quiet, because this is no joke.
All right, the way he's doing it, notice that his hands have to be under it because gravity wants to take it that way. But this would prevent him from giving it a push, because the push would be the problem, because he'd be giving it additional kinetic energy to do it. That's how he's got to do it. I'm nervous for this guy, though.
If I don't succeed in giving it 0 speed, then this will be my last lecture. I will close my eyes. I don't want to see this. So please be very quiet. I almost didn't sleep all night. 3, 2, 1, 0. Physics works, and I'm still alive.
That's a great demonstration. Ballsy. Makes sense, though. The energy can't be greater than, but he was right. He goes, as long as I don't give it a push, I'll make it through. I'll live. But that actually came a lot closer than I thought it would. But energy is conserved to a point, but you lose a little bit until eventually it just comes straight. But that's very cool. I love knowing how things work. I love seeing demonstrations of how they work. That was very cool. What a cool teacher. I don't know how engaging he was if this was his one-off deal that made him famous and loved and all that stuff. But that was very, very cool. So, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. What can I say about that? When you look at physics, it's demonstrable. And this is, I understand the human psyche too, in this extent, why like just pure quote unquote scientists have a problem with theology, because you can't verify it, you can't challenge it, you can't falsify it. It's not known a priori. It's helpful if you can demonstrate them, and he just pulled it off. So I like seeing how you can demonstrate these kinds of things. So, all right, guys. And it was a very good setup, too, from a performance standpoint, to smash the glass. Because he did give it an additional push when he did it, which the students wouldn't necessarily have known. So, all right, folks. I hope you enjoyed that. Have a great day. I'll see you in another video, and keep thinking philosophically.
Physics works, and I'm still alive.